Welcome into Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. I am Taryn Hatcher. He is Ricky Batalco. That is Ruben Amaro Jr. The Phillies fall to the Marlins 11-9, the final. Guys, before we even got to the ninth inning, which we will talk about more in depth in just a moment, you were both saying there's so much to unpack from this game. There's so much to unpack in this game. And that was, like I said, before the final frame of this game. Where do you try to start to unpack this one, Ricky?
If it's me, I'm starting with the bullpen. And I'm not only going to unpack them, I'm going to repack them, and I'm going to change up my bullpen because there's too much stuff going on. And it's getting to be season long, and we are in June. You need certain guys out in that bullpen that if you have a 4-run lead, you can feel comfortable throwing them out there. I don't think Rob Thomson has that right now out in the bullpen. I think you may have 3 guys out there that you may say, okay, I could use this guy in any type of situation. And then the rest of the guys are kind of all throw-ins. I don't know. I don't even know where to start because you got a lot of digging to do out there. I think there would definitely be some interesting moves that I would try to make.
Yeah, a couple of things for me, Taryn. I think more than anything else, when you don't have a great bullpen, I think you got to try to ride your starters as much as possible. And a decision was made to take Eflin out in the 6th inning. He was actually throwing very well. I don't think they were really high stress innings up until that point. I really hope that I hope that he would stay in the game because they were a little short with their bullpen, and I was kind of hoping that they didn't have to use him. Great effort by the offensive coming back into this game for them to battle back, but it's exhausting. If you can't continue to do that, it's mentally and physically difficult to continue to do when your bullpen is faltering.
You do not have the magic act every single night to pull this off. And I know fans think it's great. It's great to watch walk-off wins. I get it. I understand that. But you can't go with a garbage bullpen and think you're going to win every night because that does not work at the major league level. It will catch up to you at some point, and it did tonight. It caught up to the Phillies tonight big time.
The theatrics and the dramatics of comeback after comeback, it has to grind on the guys. And to your point about Eflin, at the time he was pulled, he had thrown just 80 pitches. So there's some questions there. Well, we've got lots of questions, and I'm hoping John Kruk will have some answers. He's joining us right now on the crossover. John, obviously the big topic of the night that we're talking about here to start the show is the bullpen, and it's been a question for quite some time. I guess the question is, when it comes to this team, is there a way to compensate for what this bullpen certainly is? What could that answer possibly be? And if there is no way to compensate internally, what can they do here?
I just think that watching how this season has played out, and especially watching how this game played out, I don't know if you can have roles anymore. I don't think you could say, okay, this is the closer, this is our 8th inning guy, this is our 7th inning. If we're losing by 3 or 4, this is our 6th inning guy. If we're winning by 3 or 4, this is our 6th. I don't think you have roles anymore. I think Rob Thomson just has to roll the dice and hold on for dear life right now with the bullpen. Brogdon did warm up, but it was an easy warm. He never threw one pitch like with any effort whatsoever. He was just loosening up. I think it was in the 4th or 5th inning, and then we never saw him again warming up. So that was interesting. Maybe he was trying to loosen up and he couldn't loosen his arm. I don't know. I'm not saying why, but he was throwing there for a second. But yeah, I just think right now, if you're Rob Thomson, you're the Phillies coaching staff and front office. Yeah, I think you're at the point now where you have to you can't go with with roles right now. You just have to hope and pray that whoever you put in does the job, whatever inning it is they put them in. If your intentions are playing in the postseason, that's a game you should put away. But again, like I said, the Phillies have to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out what their bullpen exactly is, and how are they going to try to attack the other team on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, I don't think you can say, okay, you're a closer, you're this, you're that, you're this. I think it's just whoever he calls down there, get up and get ready and do the job.
Yeah, Kruk, I'm going to try to throw a positive spin on this. Talk about how difficult it is to bounce back the way Zach Eflin did today. For him to bounce back from having a terrible 1st inning and then making some adjustments, spinning the breaking ball much better, mixing up his pitches and getting back to where he needed to be.
Well, Ruben, that is just an impressive look, a lot of guys, when they're going good from the start, they can continue to go good. You give up 4 in the first inning, and you give up two long home runs, two long 2-run home runs in the first inning. After getting the first 2 outs of that first inning, there's a lot of pitchers like, whoa, it's just not my day. I mean, this man, Zach Eflin, just said, you know what, screw it. You ain't getting no more runs. I've given you all the runs you're getting. I'm going to – and I wish he would have came out for the 7th just to see, especially with the lead. At some point you just got to, Nola threw over 100 pitches last night. I just wish that maybe they could have left Zach in there, put him out there for the 7th, and if he got in trouble, then go get him. But I get this whole thing with you want guys to start clean innings, the bullpen guy. You know what? You're at the point now where you can't care about feelings anymore. If I tell you to come in with a runner on first and second, 1 out in the middle of an inning, by God, that's when you're coming in to pitch. I don't think any of the Phillies pitchers are saying that. I'd rather come in a clean inning, but you hear it all the time. They're at the point now where there's no defined roles. You go in when he calls down there and says, get up, and if this guy gets on base, you're coming in, be prepared to come in. But what Zach did tonight, that just shows you what he's made of. And, the fact that he could have just said, okay, today's not my day and I'm done. He said, no, man, I'm going to save our bullpen. Save our bullpen a couple innings here I'm going to find a way to get through this thing and get deeper into the game. And that's exactly what he did. And, sadly, he was in line for a win and the bullpen couldn't hold it for him.
I'm sure Rob Thomson's got some woulda, coulda, shouldas right now. But one thing's for certain, John Kruk, you always leave it all out on the field.
1 o'clock tomorrow. 1 o'clock tomorrow.
I should say. Yeah, we will see you tomorrow, John Kruk. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Crossover.
Sleep fast, John. Sleep fast.
I'm sleeping on the couch in our office, Rube.
Dedicated. That's called dedication. Well, we've been talking about this bullpen an awful lot, so we figured we'd share some numbers with you. Ricky Bo, our producer upstairs, had a great question for you. I want to give Brian Brennan credit where it's due. He said, Ricky Bo, who is in your bullpen trust tree right now?
My tree got struck by lightning.
I was going to say, I don't think many
Definitely,
on this list would
I
be
will
in
say
there.
no to Familia. I will say yes still to Dominguez. Hand is a yes. The other 2 are no's. Pilati's like a maybe, but that's a +5 guy. I say +5 runs. He can come into a ball game. And Brogdon, if he wants to pitch every day, he could be in my bullpen. If he doesn't, no.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a little concerned about what's going on with Brogdon because for him to get up in the 4th or 5th and not be able to go, that's concerning to me because he's an important piece of this thing. There's no question about it because if the young guys don't step up, we know what we're going to get out of the veteran guys, and they are limited. But if the young guys who have ability start to pitch the way they can pitch, then they should be okay. I mean, you got got Dominguez, you got
this bullpen
Brogdon.
Is not okay.
I think that they can be okay. Will they be super effective? I just don't know that. They're going to have to straighten out Knebel. He's either hurt right now or he's just not sharp. There's something going on with Corey, unfortunately, and he's just not throwing the ball the way he's throwing it earlier in the season.
Okay, so we've heard Ricky and Rube's takes on the trust tree. Now let's hear from Rob Thomson.
Like you gave that one away?
Yeah, it's disappointing, Offense really battled to take the lead, and then soon after that we gave it back,
Bullpen struggle. Why did Eflin come out at 80? Did you see something?
His knee was a little bit sore, yeah, and so wanted to put a short leash on him, and that came up during the game. We're going to reassess him tomorrow, but yeah, yep, the right one. So we'll reassess him tomorrow, but we'll see how he is. But just as a precaution, we got him out. We had the 4-run lead, and we felt like we were in a pretty good spot at the bottom of their lineup with Familia, and he's just flat tonight. Got into some bad counts, and Stallings got him, and then we went to Sir Anthony to finish the inning, and Chisholm got him. So first time I think Sir Anthony's given up a run in a long time. So yeah, it was a disappointing night, but these guys have had them in the past, and they've always bounced back. So they'll be ready to go tomorrow.
So Eflin said something to you guys during the outing.
Yeah, it was. I found out about like the 5th inning And I talked to him. He said he was fine. But then in the sixth, it looked like the velocity was starting to dip a little bit, and that's a pretty good sign that it's time to go.
Do you have to consider something different for the ninth inning just because Corey hasn't thrown enough strikes here?
Yeah, I don't know whether Corey was rusty from 3 days off or there's still something going on. I haven't talked to Corey, but yeah, he wasn't very sharp tonight for sure.
How tough is that decision to pull him, only in the sense that he's your closer and what it can mean, for him?
Yeah, it was tough, and especially an experienced guy like that, and I do trust him, but it just looked really rusty, and I thought it was, we had maybe a better shot with Bellotti at that moment. I thought Bellotti did a great job, but the foul ball, JT usually catches that, but I thought he did a really good job.
What about the pick there? Maybe the inning turns out differently if Rhys catches that.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play by Bomer, and usually Rhys picks that ball. So.
Where's your confidence in Familia? It seems like he has a lot of rough ones.
Yep, he's been struggling a little bit lately, that's for sure. But he's got a track record, and we're trying to figure out where we're at and get him going a little bit because he's a power arm, heavy sink, gets a lot of ground balls when he's throwing well. So we're trying to get him back on track.
Next save situation, is Corey your guy?
We'll discuss it. I haven't talked to Corey about anything or the other relievers. So.
Obviously, you guys came from behind last night. What's your message going to be for these guys? It's just completely polar opposite.
Just keep doing what they're doing. The offense is doing a great job. Top three guys tonight, again, got on base, or I don't know what it was. I wrote it down 10, 11 times, something like that, and Rhys with a couple home runs. So they're swinging the bats. Bomer looked like he swung the bat good tonight. Castellanos with a couple of base hits. Veerling smoked a few balls. So, I really like where we're at with the offense, for sure.
When you get a one-run lead late, does Odubel in right field for defense, does that enter the equation at all? Or?
Well, we've been burnt by that in the past, so that always enters your mind. And for me, I like to stay with the guys that are on the field.
So it appears the Zach Eflin question has somewhat of an answer, guys. He was pulled after 80 pitches due to knee soreness. On one side, I think you sit there and you give Zach maybe even a little bit more credit for having the guts to fight through it after that rough start in the first inning. On the other side of things, when you have a lean bullpen, I would say, I would find it rather concerning that one of your starters is now maybe dealing with issue that he didn't say it's nagging or lingering, but knees are generally something you want to be careful about.
When you hear knees with Zach Eflin, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a very big concern for me, and quite frankly, I'd probably think about having him miss a start or two at this point during the season. And I know Bailey Falter just went 7 innings a couple of days ago down in the Lehigh Valley. I wouldn't be afraid to slide him in for 1 start or 2 starts, whatever be needed.
Yeah, and a little bit of a concern, no question, when it comes to his knees. I mean, you hope it's nothing serious. He's already had operations and such, and I know he bounced back. He's bounced back very well, and again, a really gutsy effort. What I was disappointed about was that Rhys Hoskins had like a career day today, and when you score 9 or 10 runs, you got to win the baseball game. To me, you score that many runs, you have to win. They have to figure out a way to stop the flow one way or another from Miami, and when you lose games like this, it makes it very tough. And fortunately for them, they get to bounce back tomorrow and play at a 1 o'clock game because they have to have some real short memories.
It is wild, too, because every time you thought, oh, they're answering the call here and they're bouncing back, that roller coaster ride just kept, no, you weren't off of it quite yet in this one.
But watch it. Where does the concern go? Look at tomorrow. What happens to their bullpen? They have guys that are there's so many question marks for tomorrow bullpen. I mean, there's issues for me.
Yeah, well, Kyle Gibson's going to have to go. I mean, he's going to have to throw
deep.
6 or 7 innings and try to go as deep as he possibly can.